Hi, welcome back to Resilient Building Cooperative Talk. I'm Matthew Andrews. Today I want to talk a little bit about some upcoming changes in building codes and the MassSave incentives program here in Massachusetts. Now, the over 300 communities in Massachusetts have adopted stretch codes. Stretch code is a level of code compliance that goes beyond the minimum requirements. So it's adopted town by town, city by city, and the stretch code requires a home energy rating for homes that are new construction or major renovations. So just to review, a HERS score is from 0 to 100 typically, 100 being a home that's built to code minimum as of 2006 for that however many square footage, whatever the volume of that house is, so adjusted and scaled to size. And 0 on the HERS scale would mean a net zero home, a home that's producing as much energy, say through solar panels, as it consumes. Now, on that scale, new construction and major renovation projects, not minor renovations, it has to be a large project. I can get into that. But it would have to be a score of 52. Which is a bit challenging. You really need to go in with a plan to hit that score. It is not meant to be easier than the regular prescriptive model where you just go through every element in the building and check off what you installed. That's kind of the old compliance path. The HERS score does give you a little flexibility in that you can make one aspect of the building a little bit better than average to make up for a deficiency somewhere else, but overall it is an equally challenging standard to meet. So as of July 1st, new construction homes are going to go down to a 42. So that's much more challenging. The closer you get to 0, the harder it is because you're going to have to upgrade even higher efficiency mechanical equipment, better insulation, better air tightness. So for mixed fuel homes after July 1st, having solar panels installed will provide a benefit to the code compliance standard that you need to meet by adding +3 to that HERS score that you need. But that doesn't apply for new construction. So and the other one is where you can benefit is if the home is all electric, which means you don't have any fossil fuel equipment built in, furnace, hot water heater, stove, anything like that. You can get another +3 on the score. So the idea is that you're consuming cleaner fuels, you're producing your own energy. The home doesn't have to be quite as tight and energy efficient for code. So for example, if you do a gut renovation of your home and you get rid of all the fossil fuel equipment and you put solar panels on it, you can pass code with the HERS 58. Fossil fuel power backup generators are still allowed in all electric homes. In general, if something is like an appliance, like a grill with a propane canister in the backyard, that doesn't affect your all-electric status. But if fossil fuel infrastructure is built into the building, like it's a permanent fixture, then it may be prohibited. So definitely talk to your HERS rater before making any plans around that kind of fossil fuel equipment in your home. Now, MassSave is also MassSave. The incentives runs incentive programs for people who are customers of most of the major utility companies around the state. There are just a few communities that are on municipal utilities that this doesn't apply to, but you may still need a HERS rater for code compliance. But if you're like you have National Grid or EverSource, that's most of my customers. You can also apply for the qualify for MassSave incentives, and that whole structure is changing July 1st as well. It used to be that there was regular renovations and additions program, a new construction low-rise program, And then within that low rise, there's all electric level 1, level 2, but it was actually a lot more than all electric. There's actually a lot more to those kind of higher levels of incentives. So now there are going to be 3 tiers that they're renaming. Their standard, which is what most people are doing. There's going to be Energy Star, Next Gen, and Passive House. So these are 3 different tiers of incentives. And obviously you get into a higher tier by meeting higher standards. There are better incentives. So the second date that's really important to know is September 30th. After that date, no new homes can have fossil fuels. New construction projects will not qualify for MassSave at all with fossil fuels. So and this is something that's a little different than code. With code compliance, generally the rules don't change on you because the rules that you're operating under are based on when you got your building permit. So you can look at the date of the building permit and say, okay, what were the rules in effect at that time? Those are the rules for my project, even if your project stretches on for a year or two and there are all kinds of updates. But this is different. State legislation is saying that we're not going to be handing out incentive checks to fossil fuel projects anymore. So that's the last check is going to go out by the end of the year, 2024. So in order to make that possible, they're not going to accept any new applications for those incentives after September 30th. So for renovations and additions, now it's a little more flexible because you can still submit your home through the Renovations and Additions program and have fossil fuels in the house. But those fossil fuels, even if you've made significant efficiency upgrades to that equipment, will not be counted towards the calculation of your incentives. So there are still other sources, obviously improved insulation, improved windows, overall air tightness. You can still get all of that incentivized. That all of these features go into an energy model, and the software calculates your HERS score, and it will calculate your MassSave incentive. Now, if you're doing an addition in the Renovations and Additions program, the addition portion of your home is going to need to be fully electric. You can't install new fossil fuels there. Projects before September 30th will still be able to receive these incentives, but obviously, this is the state's coming up quickly, and so projects that for the application for these, whether it's renovations and additions or it's new construction, that final application happens at the end of your project when your HERS rater comes in and does that final inspection, gives you a confirmed HERS rating. That's when you also get your project submitted for the final rebate. That's when we know, because we see the final product of the work that's been done, that exact incentive amount is calculated. So, there's not a lot of time left. If you've got a project with fossil fuels in it and you want that incentive, you might want to hurry it up and get it done so we can submit your project before September 30th. That's the real reason why I wanted to make this video and get it out there, because that is a hard date. I know sometimes projects drag on and the incentive program changes. You want to be up on that. One last thing I want to touch on is heat pumps and the heat loan program. The requirements for the heat pump incentives is going to become more stringent as well. In the past, you could just promise that your fossil fuel system was going to be used as a backup for emergencies only. That was kind of popular, but now the system has to be removed. It has to be disconnected from the electrical box. It has to be disconnected from the thermostat, or the fuel source disconnected and capped. So it's not as simple as just flipping a switch to get that fossil fuel system back up and running again if you do leave it in your house. They're not going to make you tear out your radiators if you have that infrastructure's in there. That's why there are all these different ways to qualify. if you're moving over to heat pumps. For the loan program, the heat loan must, first of all, obviously to qualify, you need to be a customer of a MassSave utility company. The enrollment rules are the same as MassSave RNA or new construction, and there are heat pumps can qualify for up to $25,000 in addition to other. Actually, you can get up to $25,000 for any energy efficiency improvements that you make, but the heat pumps themselves actually can qualify for up to $50,000. So that's usually enough to cover the installation of at least a small to medium-sized heat pump system. You'll probably cover most, if not all of it, with that $50,000, and that's a zero-interest loan through the guaranteed through MassSave. So it's up to 7 years of zero interest on that loan. You qualify through a HERS rater will come and check off that your home qualifies. You'll take that form, go to get a letter through Clear Result or whoever the local processor is for your heat loans. That information will be on the form, and then you can take the letter from them to go to your typical bank. There are a lot of participating banks, and you get a loan just like it was any other at the bank, but you get those terms. So it really makes it for an easy decision to do heat pumps, because they do air conditioning and cooling all at once. They could be mini splits, ductless systems, if you have an older home that doesn't have ducts, or if you do have a central air system and you want to continue to have that air circulation. There's usually, some people like that, and you can definitely hook up a heat pump system to that as well. There's a $10,000 rebate if you're doing the whole house. It's $10,000. If you're doing only part of the house, it's $1,250 per ton. Ton is the size of the system, so it would be a lesser amount for just part of a house, because usually you're talking about 1 to 3 tons. But that plus the loan makes the heat pumps a really well incentivized product, and they're very high, at this point, very very capable of conditioning a home in Massachusetts. So please contact us, Resilient Building, if you're thinking about taking on a renovation or new construction project. We can do consults as well. And of course, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, click on the subscribe button. Check out the comments below if you have any other questions you want to shoot directly to me. And thanks so much for watching.